Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. Nice to see you again, quote unquote. I just want to get to work. Not that I want to rush anything, but I do want to focus on conveying a message to you. I guess you could call this a collective message, maybe reading current energies. So keep that in mind that it's more general. As always, take some, leave some. I am starting with a planet. Let's see where this goes. Saturn is, I guess, the main influence of the day. Feeling organized, getting stuff done, attending to your responsibilities. So let's see what the moon says. The moon phase here, Moonology cards. On this card, it speaks of knowledge. I think it's knowledge acquired through effort and being disciplined. So that's an interesting aspect to consider here. You could encounter someone that you feel teaches you something. All things being relative, you know, it doesn't have to be within a classroom. It could just be life experience. So let's see what this is. So balance spirituality with practicality, which would really be a Saturnian thing to do, being practical and grounded and rooted in reality, right? Let's move to the Tower. The knowledge that you'd be acquiring would be of a spiritual nature though. And maybe the person is teaching you how to balance out both spheres of life, basically. This card wants to come out. The Page of Swords. This is definitely research, you inquiring about things, all things, you being extremely curious. I mean, maybe even too much. Because it's the Spy card, so maybe you're gleaning information in more traditional ways as well as unconventional ways, which means, you know, overlooking someone's shoulder without them noticing. Or so as much as you have a teacher around you, you could be the one that instigate your own research, find really constructive and creative ways to get information. I even want to say maybe a little bit covert, right? Playing it a bit coy about what you're actually extracting from others. So there's a little bit of you coming in and like a taker energy. So I'm not sensing that there's a give and take. This is you acquiring knowledge for your own. And we have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse as I say that. So it is not a give and take exchange. What's under that? The Ace of Cups. And then the Six of Pentacles. I think I'm right about you being selfish. And I find that it could be very healthy. Don't get me wrong. This is not about judging. And it's not about condemning anything, about how you'd go about finding your information. The Ace of Cups is in the reverse. I do find that although this speaks of love, it also speaks of, you know, this is the Holy Grail card. So the Grail is a form of quest, eternal, like ongoing, infinite quest. And it speaks of spirituality, right? Higher love. Or just love, you know, the absolute. energy of love. And it's in the reverse because I think with Saturn here, I think you're a bit stern. It's Saturn in Pisces. This is full moon in Pisces here. So this is absolutely in line with the actual transit. So how you actually glean information, practical information, and how you put it into practice within your own spiritual practices, your own spiritual beliefs. I think that at the moment, you're kind of depleted of love. So it's a little bit of not romantic love. It's not about you being alone and without anybody around you at all. But it's like saying you don't feel the love, right? I think it's because you need to get in touch with a more spiritual side of yourself, or at least dwell deeper into that. And by that I mean constructively, right? With a plan in mind, which sounds really counterintuitive here, but it's not. It's actually the way to go. You see, you're not getting something in return for your maybe generosity, the way you've extended yourself in general. This is funny. Maybe the message here is about you can replenish your love cup or your love reserves when you actually give out more of yourself, and maybe when you allow more time for spirituality in your life. But spirituality will actually show up for you when you do practical things, when maybe you are trying to acquire new knowledge related to spirituality, but when you just do simple acts of giving and not wanting anything in return, instead of always taking, which is what the first energy was about, at least for me. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't want to judge what I'm saying. I'm just hoping that it resonates with you, for you. I want to see more. 3 of fire and the 6 of water. So I'm tempted to put these on the side of the Page of Swords. I feel you're expectant of, okay, it feels like you're spying on someone that you know, or at least someone that you feel you have a connection to. And I think that you've been waiting on them and looking at them, observing, because even the 3 of fire, which is the 3 of wands, the person is actually looking out on the horizon. And so they're keeping something in sight all the time. And here it speaks of emotions. So again, you're on the lookout for maybe a more balanced relationship with love in general, with being loving, with engaging with people that will love you back. So let's see on the other side, where it's unbalanced and where maybe you need to be practical with your spirituality, right? This is too many. It didn't turn. Let me just put them back. Nice, 2 cards, just like on the other side. The 3 of water and the 7 of water, there's so much emotions here, so many. So many with the 7 of cups, right? It's about you reuniting with people and bridging all the options that you have, but I don't like to use the word option here. I think it's about all the interests that you have that you're trying to invest yourself in. There's quite a lot of stuff that you are trying to glean from. And I think part of reuniting, like bridging spirituality and practicality, is about spending time with people, friends, community, people in your community, your neighbors, people that you might have, that you might know already, like I said. I'm thinking to the Seven of Water because maybe part of it is a little bit too woo-woo, in the sense that you're out there with your thoughts and you're sort of in a dreamland. That would be like the spiritual side, right? Being like overemphasized. You need to bring your energy back to stuff that is very real, like spending time with people, connecting with your friends, replenishing your cup of love, you know, celebrating what you have together. So it's interesting that you have 2 3s. I think that it balances out really well, and I think there's a possibility to actually really do a better job at what you expect and what you actually do. And the same applies when you have a lot of interests, but you might need to go back to something that is familiar, that you've already done in the past. But there's a huge accent here on gaining more information when it comes to spiritual knowledge, but making it real, making it like sort of in, how do you say, giving it a shape that could actually be like a routine, a daily routine kind of thing. So maybe a ritual. Let me see what the teacher that I think you're your own teacher, but you might be meeting someone that, it feels like you're meeting somebody. It could be new people, but I sense that for some reason you're connecting with people that you already know, that you feel could teach you something. But maybe I'm wrong about them being people that you know. It might be new people. Let me pull on that. Let me see who you reach out to. So Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. This feels like repeating the same cycles. So if it feels familiar, but it didn't yield any results for you, it didn't bring you anything. So maybe familiar faces are not maybe the particular people that will teach you the most, at least regarding a spiritual practice that you actually enforce every day. I don't like enforce, that you just follow every day. And then here, the Six of Wands in the reverse. So another 6 here. Maybe you're not successful when you are selfish, when you are only thinking about what you ought to do and what you ought to get, what you're trying to obtain from people. That is definitely not the way to go. And maybe even spending too much time in pleasure here, only skimming the surface, would not serve you. You would really need to delve deeper. So there's a caution against superficiality here. It won't bring you the full knowledge that you're seeking. And it's not just knowledge, there's also the idea that you'd be connecting through the higher power of love, right? Just unconditional love in general. Let me pull one more. The King of Cups is in the reverse. This is you either overwhelmed by your emotions or lacking true equilibrium. And I think it's because you kind of go overboard. So you either expectant of something or indulging in something. So there's an imbalance. You're an overly sensitive person, basically. You also react very, very strongly to either people that are not reciprocating love, and you react poorly maybe when you're being asked to love back, and that you're not always available, and maybe you don't have enough love, or you feel you don't. It's almost a little bit like, again, the selfish energy of wanting to keep it for oneself. I come back to that. I mean, I have to call you out on this. Why is the King of Cups in the reverse? The King of Pentacles in the reverse. Again, not being able to invest oneself in practical matters, to ground your emotions within practicality, doing something very concrete that you build. I feel that you're wanting to spend more time skimming the surface. A lot of this energy is about, if we look at it on a mundane level, it's really you spying on someone that you felt you were connected to like a soulmate. But it's not a situation that will go anywhere, no matter how much you try to make it happen. And basically it puts you in an energy where you feel loveless, or like you weren't loved back. You didn't get the just, you didn't get the reciprocity you were hoping for. Let's pull on the other side here. Let's see. This is the Six of Pentacles, but upright. So there's truly a possibility of finding love with your friends, even if you were unsuccessful in the past and ungiving of yourself in the past. Maybe you have a lot more people around you than you think that would be willing to exchange with you, exchange both love as well as spiritual knowledge here. There's an amazing possibility for you to turn things around as long as you let go of like the easy way out kind of thing, like the easy way being like not investing yourself deeply. I think you need to, if you want to be successful at this, you need to be more giving. Even when you feel like you have nothing to give, because I don't think that that's ultimately true. Especially with the full moon in Pisces, which is coming up, by the way, on Wednesday. It'll be a blue moon. So, and it will be conjunct Saturn. So this is extremely in line with the current transits. You might feel lonely. I won't lie. You might feel very lonely and isolated. But it's up to you to go and find the people that you have affinities with, that you share your interests with, that you can share knowledge with. And actually, maybe you should reverse the tendency to take and rather maybe offer your knowledge this time around. And you would maybe see a different result. So that's what I have. Hopefully it resonated for you. Please let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to know, because this is really in line with the current transits and what's about to happen on next Wednesday, on August 30th. So I think it's pretty striking, and I'm really in awe for that, of that. Anyways, guys, thank you again for being here. Please like the video, share, subscribe. I will see you soon.